Shalom, shalom, mishpocha! Welcome to another edition of Ray Bash's Ramblings. I'm your host, Rabbi Yehuda Ben Shomer, and today I want to talk to you about the main principles of Yeshua's Halacha. Seeing as the Netzari movement is extracting itself from the 2,000-year-old crust of the past to become a vibrant phoenix in the 21st century, we're still trying to find our legs beneath us. In trying to reestablish ourselves as a movement and as a people, and seeing as much of our ancient literature has either been confiscated or burned by the Catholic Church, we have to rely upon the non-believing Orthodox Jewish literature and resources in an attempt to reestablish ourselves. And I have no problem with that, as I've stated clearly my position on such literature in the Statement of Faith of Abraham's Descendants International. I've said, I believe in holding to, but not being bound by, Jewish traditions and customs that uphold and help fulfill Torah commands and enhance the meaning and significance of Yud He Vav He's word. I believe all extra biblical documents, which gives us some of the how-tos in fulfilling the Torah's commands, such as the book of Jasher, the books of Enoch, the Talmud, the Shulchan Aruch, the Pirkei Avot, Zohar, etc., needs to be filtered through the whole of Scripture. I reject all that which annuls or contradicts Yud He Vav He's word. One has three choices in regards to tradition. One, if it lines up with Torah, keep it. Two, if it's neutral, neither enhances nor detracts from Torah, one may choose or choose not to keep it. And three, finally, if it nullifies the Torah, we must not keep it. Our problem is that we've relied so heavily upon rabbinic literature and have ended up in many cases trying to placate to the Orthodox Jew so as to be accepted by them and feel a sense of legitimacy in our own movement, which has been totally wrong on our part. Yeshua is not only our Messiah, but Rebbe, not Schneerson, not Nachman. Yeshua is our Rebbe, and Yeshua is the one who establishes our Halacha. And I think there's a key principle in hammering out Halacha and traditions within our movement. In Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 through 30, it says, Come unto me, this is Yeshua speaking, Rebbe Yeshua, our Messiah, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke, take my Halacha upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest for your souls. For my yoke, my Halacha, is easy, and my burden is light. The common Jew of Yeshua's day was trying to escape the crushing and bewildering weight of the Pharisaical and Sadduceical Halacha. In Matthew 23, verse 4, Yeshua says, speaking of the scribes and the Pharisees and Sadducees, For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on man's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. So the Pharisees and Sadducees are lumping all these halakha, these traditions, these customs that the common man wasn't ready to bear. And they felt so weighted down by the halakha of the Sadducees and Pharisees. And the Sadducees and Pharisees wouldn't even, use their little finger to help lighten the load or to help lighten the burden of the common man. So in reviewing many of the prayers, customs, and halakha and traditions many of us have taken upon ourselves from the Orthodox, I find have been very fresh and romantic at first, but quickly lose their luster and become cumbersome and a dead ritual. So much so, I actually had to walk away from many of the traditions, such as praying the Amidah and donning the traditional form of tefillin for a while until I could figure all this out. Therefore, in order to, as Philippians 2:12 says, work out my own salvation with fear and trembling, I've experimented with some of the customs and traditions of Judaism, which are based in Torah, and have shortened or modified some of them in keeping in mind Rebbe Yeshua's yoke. And it has been utterly and intimately transforming in my walk with the Lord. So keep in mind, however, that it's good to know and understand the Orthodox traditions and customs so one can feel at home if they ever somehow find themselves in a traditional Torah service or minyan or such. But remember, we're not Orthodox. We're not Catholic. We're not Protestants. We're not Christians. We are Netzarim and should be, and we should be Netzarim and should carry our own unique Torah-based halakha. We need to become an entity in and of ourselves and not rely on the Christians, not rely on the Catholics, not rely on the Orthodox and come up with our own traditions in Halacha and reestablish ourselves here in the diaspora, here in the 21st century, so we can have Halacha and customs and traditions based on Torah, based on the words of Rabbi Yeshua, that are meaningful to us, that won't be cumbersome, that won't become or turn into a dead ritual. Because he said, "Take my Halacha, my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Thank you for watching. Shalom and Shavuot Tov.